This week in science, we found out how this video game is using corny lines to save lives. You're not dying today, Stephen. What this blue chicken has to do with science. And we watched these scientists communicate their research perfectly. Seriously, a really good job. This role-playing video game is saving lives. A massive 30,000 people die unnecessarily after stupidly going to the hospital for help. Doctors who don't often deal with trauma patients can overlook some life-threatening issues. This game is designed to tap into the part of the brain that uses pattern recognition and previous experience to create mental shortcuts. The study took 338 doctors. Half of them played the game and half of them used traditional learning methods. And it found up to 6 months later, the people that had been exposed to the game were performing a lot better when it comes to trauma patients. The funny thing was, the doctors really didn't like the game, but who can blame them? With classic lines like, "Elderly patients may not look hurt, but complications are a bitch." And, "When you don't pay attention, you're letting everyone down." And my favourite, "Well, at least this shift is over." Scientists from the University of Delaware have created a window that goes from completely reflective to completely transparent with the addition of a liquid. Normally, these types of windows are incredibly expensive and use high voltages to trigger the transition. The windows are fabricated with 3D printing, and the scientists predict that they could be up to 1/10 of the cost of the windows that are currently used. But at the moment, the only use is to proudly reveal your school's mascot. And finally, scientists from the Salk Institute have created a version of CRISPR that can activate genes without damaging any DNA.
The Salk research shows that CRISPR-Cas9 can be modified to activate genes in living organisms without changing their DNA.
And they do such a good job at explaining what they've done that we're just going to watch it.
This is your DNA. This is your DNA on CRISPR. The gene editing tool CRISPR-Cas9 can be directed to cut DNA in specific places. It combines a GPS feature, guide RNA, with a cutting feature, Cas9 enzyme. The two can be packaged inside a virus to be delivered into cells. But this genetic cut and paste risks causing permanent DNA damage. So another approach is epigenetic. Epi meaning above. It is a way to turn genes on or off without altering DNA. It is not permanent. Salk scientists wanted to modify CRISPR-Cas9 and use it to make epigenetic changes. The team used modified guide RNA to keep the GPS feature of CRISPR but without a cutting property. At the same time, they attached gene switches to the CRISPR system so it could turn genes on. However, this made the whole package too big to fit inside a single virus for efficiently delivering into living organisms. So the Salk team had the idea to split the components into two packages. One virus package containing the Cas9 enzyme, the other virus package containing the GPS system and gene switches. In theory, the packages would work together after being injected into a patient.
In the future, they'll be working on using the technique for a larger range of human diseases. But if that doesn't work out, they've got a long and healthy career ahead of them in science communication. Just not this job.